What happens if we take Wolves and rebuild them into absolute English giants? Over the next 5 years in Football Manager, that's exactly the challenge. We're going all in to conquer the Premier League, the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup, and maybe, just maybe, bring a Champions League trophy back to the Molineux. No transfer restrictions, no holding back, just pure all guns blazing football with my super narrow 4-2-2-2 that promises chaos, goals and drama. Can we turn Wolves into the dominant force of England? Stick around because this journey is going to be fun, challenging, and definitely full of twists. And if you want to play along at the end of this save, you can grab the save file, the tactic, and about 11 more other exclusive perks, all over on the Patreon today. Let's get into it. Today, Wolves go to the very top. Yeah, today is all about Wolves, and they will go to the very top indeed. Now, Wolves are a very, very good team in this game. There is no denying that. They have got a lot of good players. Did have. They've lost a lot of players, and we are going to go through the transfer window because this team has not only been taken from, it's been decimated. There's been a lot of players taken from the squad, and I don't really think they've replaced them that well, in my opinion. Now, I will go over and say it is a big reason to why we are playing the formation, because we've had several players taken from this team that maybe would have convinced me to use wingers like Guedes, for example. That is just one key example, and has sort of limited me to play a certain formation. Now, before we even talk about that, a little bit about the club. Firstly, great training, nearly flawless training, decent stadium, decent youth facilities, youth recruitment's pretty mediocre, their reputation is pretty decent, the owners love the club, bit of money, finances, they claim to be rich, and let's not forget, they are a club that have won quite a fair bit. People forget this. 3 Premier Leagues, 4 FA Cups, 4 Sky Bet Championships, 2 Carabao Cups, 4 English Community Shields. They're not rookies. They have won trophies before, and they are a team that just need a little bit of a helping hand to at least get them into a Europa push. Then from that Europa push, a Champions League push. From the Champions League push to winning the Champions League, and hopefully the Premier League. Now, money. Money, money, money. Very important in football. They have sold a lot of players and therefore have a budget of nearly £64 million. Of course, I sign 0 players in Season 1 purely because I use the latest sorted out SI database. Therefore, I just stick with the realistic transfers for one window because that is what they've got in real life. Now, debts and loans. We have got debt to clear today. £74 million, 600, and I mean, it's a lot of money, actually. It's a lot of money. You know, we're pushing towards 75 million in net debt, nearly 14 million in transfer debt, and hopefully we can clear that alongside of winning. Today is all about winning, but also I don't want to fold the club, so we are going to do our best to stay as sensible as possible. Now, Season 1, we are playing in not 1, not 2, but 3 competitions. The Premier League, the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup. The Premier League, we have got a simple expectation in Season 1. We are predicted to finish 12th. I want to finish in the top 10. That is my expectation for Season 1. That is all that I really want to see. Now, there are teams around us that are going to make that difficult. I can reel off 10 teams literally in seconds. You can see it on your screen. 10 teams here. If you look at, you know, City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Newcastle, United, Chelsea, Tottenham, Villa, then you've got, you know, them teams in the game usually get in the top 10 all the time. Then you throw in, like, you know, you've got some unorthodox teams like Forest, you've got Brighton, you've got Bournemouth, Palace, even see Brentford up there in this game sometimes in terms of the top 10. This is actually a bit harder than what I'd probably make it sound. There's a lot of good teams that can knock me out that top 10. And I'll explain why in a second, why I think it is going to be challenging. It is because of the players they've lost. Now, we have also got obviously the FA Cup and Carabao Cup, and I'm not opposed to winning these as many times as I can. I would say the Premier League takes main focus, then probably the Champions League. I really want to win the Premier League a lot this video, just because I want to turn them into an English powerhouse. But when I tell you the transfers that have happened, you'll see my worry because they've been pretty active in the window. We'll start off with a very, very basic outgoing. Not going to spend too much time on this one. It is going to be Louis Molden. Now, he's a player that never would have played for me, but we are going to take time today and really understand the outgoings because there's been a lot of players leave. Next up is going to be Matheus Cunha. Of course, the big money move to Manchester United. £43 million. So a lot of money coming back into the club. Probably would have helped out the debt situation, but a serious player to lose. One of the best attacker midfield players in the Premier League from last season, in my opinion. In that Wolves team, he was really, really strong. Still yet to see the best of him at United. Hopefully that does come. But in the game, he would have been massive for me. Come on, let's not sugarcoat it. He would have been massive for me. You know, curator, talisman, great on the ball, good finishing as well. Really would have done really good in my tactic as well. A 4-2-2. He would have been an absolute dream player. And who knows, maybe he has a few bad years at United and we could get him back. That would have been nice, but I will not be doing that because that is very unrealistic. But, yeah, a big player to lose, and here's just one of many. Of course, a bit of old news, but obviously Ruben Neves also went, didn't he? A little reminder, he went to the Saudi League, and he as well is a massive player that they have lost of recent years. He's a player that was really strong in the Premier League. Liverpool wanted him. I think Tottenham might have wanted him as well. Gutted he went for the money because he was an absolute joy to watch. From set pieces, from open play, ridiculous player that would have been incredible for this formation, but another player I miss out on. Of course, Pablo Sarabia, he is going to be another player that is going to leave. He's a player that is getting on the older side, so if you tell me out of the 3 examples I've given you are players that have left out of him, Cunha, and of course, I'm having a bit of a mind blank now. Serious mind blank. I forgot the other player I literally just shoe. This will be the one that I'm not as fussed because at the end of the day, he is 33. It's not really the end of the world. Neves is the man I'm thinking of. Yeah, this is probably the easiest one to accept losing because he is 33. Still would have liked him for a season, potentially, though. 28 million, and a key reason to why I will not be playing wingers is going to be Guedes. He goes to Real Sociedad. Yeah, he does go to Real Sociedad after a couple of the loan spells at Benfica. A really good winger in the game. In real life, I'm not going to say he's the best of the best, but in the game, I've used him a lot, and he is quality. And if he was at Wolves, I would have had a serious debate on whether to train him in an AM position, to stick with this formation, or use wingers, because I would have definitely considered using him. So that is another key figure gone. They've not held back on selling players. I'll stick in real life, but again, he would have been handy for a couple of years. Nelson Semedo, a pretty decent right back in the game, apart from the fact he is 31, so you don't get too many years with him, unfortunately. He goes to Fenerbahce. A lot of these older players now are choosing the Turkish league as the Saudi league to go and get a little final payday. But I don't know how much he's getting paid in real life, but if it is that, that's not much more than what he probably would have got at Wolves, so maybe he didn't go for the money, I'm not too sure. But at the end of the day, he is a solid right back, so another position I've got to re-sign in. Another player with good potential on the wing is going to be Chiquinho. He is going to go to Stoke, I believe, on loan. He did, then he goes to the Portuguese league. So it is going to be a player who really, when you can have him and Guedes both leave, you think, do you know what, I won't play wingers. We've got no one really else that is sort of game-changing to the point where it convinces me to change my entire DNA of my tactic for. So we're going to wave goodbye to him. I'm not as fussed about losing him as what I was with obviously the midfield players because I still could have used them even in this tactic. And the man that we're about to say next, he's actually one of my favourite players in the game. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm a little bit a screws loose. I love Fabio Silva. I think he's a great player in this year's game, and I would have loved to have him, but Dortmund are going to take him, and it is a striker less. Now, we still do have a fair batch of strikers, but we're playing 2 up front. Therefore, I want 4, really, so I could have done with him, even for backup, to become first team in the future. Yes, I know it's only 5 years, but he will have, you know, half a decade to prove himself. And I think within this tactic, with how many goals it can get out of the match engine, this guy could have become really good, so a little bit gutted to lose him. Now, we do sign a player in Jørgen Strand Larsen, who apparently is already wanted in real life. There seems to be a bit of a striker shortage at the moment, because people are paying ridiculous money for pretty average strikers. Newcastle, I am talking about you. Larsen is going to come in, and he looks decent. For me, it actually somewhat work, because we are playing 2 up front, so we can afford to have a player with slightly less acceleration. He's still got the pace, and he has got good composure and finishing. So to be fair, I can actually see the appeal in this guy. He come in for what? I don't actually know how much he come in for, but he definitely will get game time, especially the fact that Fabio Silva's gone. 2.1 million, we pick up a pretty decent left back. I'm not going to say he's world class by any means of the imagination, but he's pretty decent. He's a Sky Bet Championship player based off ability, but we all know by now any experienced FM players, ability practically means nothing, to be honest. The attributes are far more important, and then attributes are looking pretty attractive. So 23 years of age, still got a bit of potential. Yeah, I don't hate it. This player on an undisclosed fee, I really don't like what I see. He doesn't really, you know, I just don't really like him. We've already got a bit of a brute up front in Larson. I don't really want to. His passing's not that great for sort of a deep line forward. I don't play a target forward. Don't be surprised if this guy goes quite quickly. Now I'm going to pick up João Arias, coming in from the Brazilian League, I believe. Now, this is a player that I think can definitely get us to a certain level, but might not complete us. He's 27 and already is sort of capped out at what he's going to be, you know. He's decent, don't get me wrong. Technically, mentally, is average. I mean, is he going to win me a Premier League? I wouldn't put money on it, but I think there is a world where this guy can chip in to a certain extent. And then we have this man on loan, but joining permanently from Girona, and I love him. I think he's brilliant. I've signed this guy before. Very versatile in DM and centre-back. He's got the attributes to play both of these positions to a very high level. So a very helpful player, considering the amount of players we have lost over the last couple of seasons. We need now players that can play multiple positions, and this is a good example of that. So yes, he's on loan, but the transfer's already done. So fingers crossed he plays well, because we've signed him regardless. As you can see, that's already a done deal for £26 million. Now, a little bit about the tactic. Again, at any part of this video, you want to get the tactic and the rebuild file. You can go and grab it up on the Patreon with all of these cool perks, where you get everything that I post in file format, and also ad-free viewing. This tactic is all guns blazing. Most hated 4-2-2. We're talking much higher defensive line, higher for us. I've tweaked it a little bit because we are Wolves. In possession, we're on about overlap and right, really getting that right back involved, being more expressive. We're really all guns blazing. Now, luckily for us, we are playing two strikers, so the likes of Larson, who might not usually be my cup of tea, I quite like nimble, quick strikers. He will get a shot in this time. Next to him, we have got Sasa, who at the end of the day is very similar. And this is where we run into a bit of a problem, because I'm not going to change the tactic yet, but none of them are really advanced forwards, so I am going to go out and sign an advanced forward. The one that we've got closest to it is probably Hwang Hee-chan, who is pretty decent if you can get him playing, but he is also 29 years of age. I have got players in mind that I want to sign, and those players I'll keep a secret for now, but there are definitely some players. When you drop down to the Shadow Striker, the AMs, room for improvement is what I'm going to say. I mean, the man on the right in Marshall, he's decent, but I'd put him in the same category as Arias. He's decent, but not exactly game-changing. Premier League winning, I don't think so. So these are players that will get me to a certain level. That level will be hopefully Europa League, and then we can improve as we sort of, you know, build up on this team. As for these two, I love them. Andre's a really good player, 23 years of age. He looks about 30, but a very strong player, super young, great potential as well, and I really like what I see. He will hopefully be in this team at the end of 5 years. And I can say the same about João Gomes. Again, Brazilian pair in midfield. They've got me covered. Really good players. I like both of them a lot, and I mean that, a lot. I like both of them, and I'm hoping this area of the pitch can almost remain unchanged, to be honest. Now, to get the most out of this tactic, the right back's super important, and this player has got the physical stats that I'd want. I'd want a little bit better crossing in a dreamland, but for now he will have that ability to go up and down the pitch and do it to a decent level. We've got good centre backs, obviously, with the man we discussed, and Mosquera. Our left back is pretty decent, and Jose Sarr will be okay for a couple of years. So our first 11 is actually not too bad, to be honest, despite all these players going. We've got Totti on the bench, Hwang Hee-chan, we've got this man up front as well, who I'm not too keen on. We've got Bueno, Bellegarde, we've got Bueno again, two Buenos, you've got Gomez, Doherty, he's going to be going, you've got Tommy Doyle, let's not forget about him as well. He doesn't really impress me that much in this game, to be honest, but he's a big name, I am aware. But if we actually look at the team, so, age, we have got not a ridiculous amount, but sort of 27 and up is when they're going to get to the older points. And, you know, if we actually focus on the 30 and above, all of these players could actually go at any time, as in I'd happily let them go. So we're not really stressed in terms of keeping players around that we are begging to keep. These can all go. And the likes of Doherty's on 50k a week. get him gone ASAP. And luckily for us, the financial situation's actually quite good. So I do think when these players leave, we can easily replace them. And obviously the big pressure is just getting inside that top 10. And if we can pull off a miracle and get in the top 7, top 6 in season 1, more money will come, more appeal for the players. It's an absolute pipeline dream, but it is doable. It is doable as well. Let's go and see what we can do in season 1. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Let's get into it. But we'll start off with the cups because things aren't looking too good in the FA Cup. We are going to lose to Charlton Athletic on penalties. So if you're, you know, a stat man and you're going to make predictions based off that, where have we finished in the Premier League? Add this to the stats because we also lose to Everton in the 4th round of the Carabao Cup. Super early on into the competition. And if we're losing to Everton, who are probably about our level in terms of squad quality, in the Cup, does that mean we've done it in the Prem? No, we have finished in 5th place, which is massive. We have qualified for the Europa League, and that means 3 things. 1, great season. 2, attraction of new players. 3, more money. So 3 very, very big outcomes from that. And it was actually quite a good season, to be fair, in terms of we lost 9 games. We did lose 5-2 to Tottenham, 3-0 to Palace. The draws were all quite low scoring. The wins, though, we do beat Everton 4-1. We beat United 4-0, Tottenham 2-1, Liverpool 2-1. There were games that we did overachieve as well. So I'm not going to be too annoyed about that. We've got Sasa, you know, with a few goals behind Haaland, but still coming in and scoring the goals. Already wanted by Fulham and Leicester. He surely won't take them offers. And I mean, yeah, he was pretty much the only man that done anything apart from yellow cards with Andre and this man here. But I mean, it's good to see one of our players in there. And if we look at the schedule, the friendlies were absolutely incredible. We got a point against United. Any other real standout games? A win over Arsenal, a win over Chelsea, a win over City, a win over Tottenham, a win over United, a win over Chelsea, a win over Liverpool, point against Villa, point against City. Yeah, we're actually looking pretty decent. I mean, I know it's not a trophy, I do understand that, but it's like, we're beating the top teams sometimes. We're in the top 5, which is brilliant because we've got that Europa League. We've got a certain element of pressure now because we need to be backed. And boy, have we been backed. £100 million. And then debts have come down big time. So Europa League is now Wolves. We're in there, we can fight in there, but now we need to go and spend. And we look at these players, obviously, we're not going to lose this loanee player. He's going to join regardless, and I'm glad he is because he's dropped a very good rating. Our goal-scoring output is okay, but not enough to win a Premier League, in my opinion. 15-5 and 21-4 isn't anything to cry about, but usually when I start winning a lot of stuff, we're breaching into the 30s at bare minimum. So I want to see a bit more. As for Sasa, he's doing really, really good on the left. Strand Larson will not score as many goals because he's more of a link-up player. The players behind him, Arias done a lot better than what I thought, actually. 14-6. Montensi done okay as well with 14. João Gomez, Andre done pretty decent. I want to see more from the right back as well. Players out on loan, Doyle done okay. Apart from that, Hwang Hee-chan stepped in, 8 goals. I love to see that. Bueno coming in there with 6 assists. Of course, our backup left back who can definitely put a ball in the box, it seems. 1-9 from Doherty, even he had quite a good season. There are a lot of positives to take from season 1, which I'm not going to say surprised me because I don't want to sit here and slander Wolves. I actually quite like them. But we definitely done better than what I imagined. Well, just to showcase that deal going through, 26 million, we do secure this man right now. And I will say, yes, he's now 28. He is getting older, but the deal was already done. And to be honest with you, based off last season, he actually done quite well. And he's come in with that permanent deal now and actually improved. So a little bit about him there. He's actually really working hard to prove that he was the right choice. And so far, I can't even argue it. Now, it's not a realism rebuild. Bungurhi's still on the market, so we are going to pick him up from Crystal Palace for 53 million. A perfect centre-back, 6.87 average rating. One of the best pickups you'll find in this game. Great for registration, still semi-young over a 5-year window. Great tackling, great heading, great passing, good positioning, good leadership, good pace, good acceleration. Just a real guaranteed good performer. Played in the Premier League for years now with Palace. originally Chelsea, then Swansea, worked his way up. It's a bit of a, you know, probably not what the movie was expecting, but we are challenging for a Premier League title over these next 5 years, and I need people that I think can do that. And if this man goes to Liverpool, he's going to have a Premier League medal around his neck. As we also pick up Karim Konate, still at Salzburg and still only costing 27 million, big goal outlet. We have now got an official advanced forward. 20 and 7 from him in his first season. Fantastic finisher, my go-to signing. You would have signed him tons of times as well, I imagine. Never too expensive. If you get him before he moves, you always get him for under about 30, 40 million. And we got him for 27, so a no-brainer really to get him. With them sort of attributes, them pros, he's got a few cons as a player, which I like to sort of go over quite quickly. I mean, you look at it right now, you know, jumping, although he's not really going to be jumping too much, it's not really an issue. Versatility, not really an issue. In the air, not really an issue. Training, a bit of an issue. And this one, dressing room, that will come over time. So in my opinion, only really one issue. That completes an expensive but very much needed window. The only thing that the only player we lose is Leonardo, who would not have played anyway because we don't play wingers. So 3 very important players that all fit into my team, and the best thing about it is they all go right in. And we're into a final, the Carabao Cup final to be exact, against Arsenal. And I'm a bit nervous because they are a very, very good team to play, but I shouldn't be because we are going to go 1-0 up with Intensi to make it 1 inside of 20 minutes. And things are looking pretty decent. But let's not forget, Arsenal have got some pretty good players. Martinelli cuts it back into Zinchenko. Plenty of time on the ball, back into Martinelli. A great give and go. I've got to give him credit where it is due. And that is going to be a fantastic equaliser about 12 minutes after. And they go again. We've got a man off the pitch right now and they're playing on. Arsenal are going to carry on. This is classic villain Arteta ball. This is disgusting. They've taken the lead and that I am sickened with. That is absolutely disgusting. They've got no shame, this club. They go again here with Zubamendi, into Saliba, into Declan Rice, through to Zinchenko, and sadly, that's going to be 3-1. I don't like losing to a team like this, and the only thing we can do to give the fans something to cheer about is grab a consolation, and we go on to lose this cup final 3-2. And I don't like what we've lost to. In hindsight, it's never nice to lose a final, but it's good that we got there. You know, we're only 2 seasons in, a big step up from last season, but I still don't like it when people play on when there's a player down. Classic Arsenal. The FA Cup, we are going to get blitzed by Aston Villa 5-2. A little reminder that they're trying to humble us a bit, saying you're not a top 5 team. A big, big loss there. I mean, it's a 3-goal deficit, guys. The Champions League, we lose in the knockout playoff rounds, and we lose to Porto 6-1. So, again, a big indicator of how much we have to do to get our team into a Champions League competitive state, which would have been the league phase. We don't get humiliated, actually. It's actually a shame because, you know, I almost would have rather have had a really bad season just to get this one out the way, but we were actually quite close. We actually miss out on goal difference, it would have been. We are beating teams like Inter Milan, Lazio, Marseille, drawing against Atletico, only 2 losses there. I mean, it's definitely not bad in terms of the league phase, but as soon as there was competition, we struggled. And I now look at the Premier League, and we are going to be 3-2-1 winners. Okay, that is very unorthodox because, don't get me wrong, I knew we potentially had a shot of being in the top 4 because you get to a Carabao Cup final, you know, you're beating teams like Inter Milan, the FA Cup wasn't great, but I was not expecting to win it in Season 2. Konate's played a big part, and also, if you just look, compare this to about 5 minutes ago from the last screen in the first season, we've now got a goalkeeper in the clean sheets. We've not got 1, not 2, but 3 players with the assists, and Konate has come in and nearly got as many goals as Haaland and Isaac. Now, very, very close. Only 1 point separates us to Arsenal, 2 points separate us to Liverpool. So it's a very, very close season. But, you know, when you've got your left back picking up 13 assists, you've got one of your shadow strikers picking up 13, a DM picking up 11, you're creating chances, you're scoring goals, and we're keeping clean sheets. So that is massive for the challenge of trying to win everything with this club, because that will give us Champions League football again, money to reinvest into this club, and I imagine we are going to have a big budget again of £80 million. We've now got quite a fair bit of net debt to deal with, but if we can carry on winning these Premier League leagues and who knows, sell some more players. We can easily recover that debt down a little bit more. And yeah, this is what I'm on about now. So we've got players approaching the 30 mark. Kanate, 29 and 8. Larson even 20 plus goals, 22 and 11. Arias, 43 goal contributions. Montensi, 16 and 9. I mean, 8 and 13 for Gomez, 1 and 12 for Andre. Our left back and right back, absolutely incredible. 5 and 16, 5 and 11. You've got the man who we signed from loan, 8 and 2, a really good performance, who is now wanted by Al Ahly, which is a little bit worrying. This man, Sasa, still doing really, really well. A good amount of goals. You know, 8 goals is not bad for a substitute sort of season. Wanted already by Burnley. We can keep him. He's not going to be interested in them. But overall, a real big improvement, in my opinion. I think the players have really surprised me. This team on paper I would not put down to win a Premier League. But it's quite good we've got one already because we can build on this. Now, does this mean we're going to win the Premier League next year? No, it doesn't. Because I think this is a bit of a, you know, if you look at how tight this league table is, you flip this again next season, it can go either way. But the addition of Gurhi would have made a magnificent difference at the back. I can guarantee, yeah, we are now ranked best at the defensive side of the game and attacking, so he would have made a massive difference. Obviously, we signed some real key players, and they clearly have paid off, so super happy with that going into the next season. And the schedule, there's a few red losses on there, but a lot more green this time, which I like to see. And look at this season, a draw against United, draw against Tottenham, then wins over Everton and City. I mean, Liverpool, I mean, yeah, Chelsea. We can take on anyone. So for 1.5 million, we are going to offload Matt Doherty. He is going to be going to the Spanish League. Now, he's a player that has been at Wolves, you know, since 2010 on and off. He had a move to Tottenham, then obviously got passed around a little bit. It's definitely time for him to go. He is 36 and probably has got one more season at most in his career. Well, he's a player that wanted to move, and I said go. It is going to be Montensi. Now, he's replaceable. He's 31 years of age. We get £17 million for him, so it's a fair price tag to pay. Brentford have been pretty generous with that. He's been very good for them in that season, but, you know, he is now on 40k a week, so, you know, it's quite a fair bit of money for a 31-year-old, and I thought, do you know what? He can be replaced. We can afford to lose him, so do you know what? I'll cash in. We also got to sell Sam Johnston. Similar reason, getting older, we can afford to lose him. He is going to go to Norwich. Again, a player that has never stepped foot out of England. Started off at United, ends at Norwich. Who would have thought that? I wouldn't have sold him if I knew this was going to happen, because now we have lost 2 goalkeepers in one window, and they both come at the same time, both the same age, both pretty old, and Sarr goes to Ipswich for £5 million, so we nearly recover the money that we spent on him. And don't get me wrong, that side of things is good, but I now need to sign at bare minimum a goalkeeper. Some would sit here and say, Josh, you need to sign 2. Well, what I've done is sign one very good goalkeeper in Mamardashvili and promoted an under-21 to be a backup. Now, this goalkeeper is a massive step up on our previous goalkeeper. 18 clean sheets, meaning he kept a clean sheet in pretty much 50% of the games he played. We still need to improve the back line in front of him, so he's done a really good job. This is a goalkeeper that can win me another Premier League. If we can win one with Sarr, we can win one with this guy. He's developed really well. At Liverpool, obviously, he wasn't really getting any game time, so the move, he was up for it. And do you know what? Despite being quite a fair price tag at 35 million, we could double our money, so we've definitely not overspent. We are going to improve the back line as well by picking up a Madrid man that doesn't really get much respect. Alvaro Fernandez is going to come in for a total of £15 million, 21 assists in the Premier League. It would not surprise me across all comps if this guy's got 30. He is one of my favourite left backs if you can get him. The only downside to this version of him is his wage per week. Physical, 16 pace, 16 acceleration, great stamina, great work rate, great crossing, great dribbling, great first touch, great passing, great tackling, great everything. He's a perfect world-class left-back with 14 pros and only 2 cons. He is a must-sign left-back. Again, a left-back that can not only win me the Premier League, I think this guy could be part of a Champions League winning team. As lastly, we also strengthen the right back with another very talented player. Another player that I can sit here and say, hand on heart, can win me a Premier League and a Champions League. Vinicius Tobias, coming in for 21 million, a ton of assists as well. We now have two of the better attacking left backs in the league in this year's game. So very, very good. Ridiculous pace on this guy, by the way. Lightning speed. Can put a ball in. His weakness is probably tackling, but we can obviously train him on that. He's worth a lot more than actually what we paid for him. And I look at this window and I've got nothing but joy and excitement. We've got a world-class goalkeeper, fantastic world-class left back, very good right back. And all the players we have sold, we have replaced. We didn't directly replace Marshall because we don't need to. We've loaned out players to try and get them a little bit of game time. We're doing everything really well. And this is even including this window. I love that window. Obviously that one there's nothing. The windows we've actually done ourselves, they've been really good so far. And we are going to be in an FA Cup final, this time against Liverpool. Now, we lost to Arsenal in a cup final. Any more luck against Liverpool? Well, maybe there is. A ball in and past an injured Alisson. We are going to make it 1-0 inside of 9 minutes, which is really positive to see. We are now going to go again down the same side of the pitch, so maybe they've got a little bit of a weakness. As another ball gets played, and a little bit of luck there, to be honest, with a deflection, but I'm going to take it. 2 goals from 2 balls in inside of 12 minutes. Now, they are going to get a goal back into the game. It doesn't surprise me. We are talking about Liverpool, but that goal was easily preventable. How that went in, I do not know, and we actually concede from 2 set pieces inside of 4 minutes, so the game's all level, and I'm going to sit here and say we don't deserve to be drawing this game. It's, you know, the goals we've conceded are simply just not good enough, but luckily for us, our heads don't drop. In the second half, we take the lead again. 56 minutes on the clock. We are going to finally see a goal from Canate in a cup final. Carasas down the left-hand side, taking his time, driving up this Liverpool backline, not afraid to get a ball in the box, and Virgil goes to sleep, and it is going to be a goal from Sasa, and that is going to be a 4-2 advantage. And we go again. Wolves have come alive. The Wolf is alive. That is pretty cringe. I'm not going to say that again. We are going to go through the middle, and I tell you what, this Liverpool backline is all over the gaff, and an injured Alisson, they could have done with Mamardashvili, but they've sold him. They can't have him again. And we keep on going. And this game actually ended up being a bit of a statement game as we win it 6-2. Big improvement in the Carabao Cup in terms of linking it all together with the FA Cup. We get to the semi-finals and we were this close. We do lose against Liverpool. Very, very close to making it to a final. So not too angry about that, to be honest, because we have won the FA Cup. It's the first season we've actually linked both of them together. We did have a chance to win the Community Shield, of course, from winning the Premier League, but Garnacho, of all people, is going to be the man that denies me that chance as Chelsea go on to win 1-0. The Champions League phase, we go invincible with wins over Bayer Leverkusen, PSV, Augsburg, Feyenoord, Real Madrid, Marseille, a draw also against Bayern. We are the team to beat, and going into the round of 16, we absolutely blitz Juventus. The quarterfinals, we absolutely batter Arsenal. The semi-finals, oh, it's close. We lose by a goal, and it was a very, very close game. Barcelona just about edged us 5-4. We would have played Real Madrid anyway, so it would have been a very tough game. But that's a really strong performance. The Premier League, we go on to win again, and by a lot of points this time. So this is looking like a very, very good season. Only 3 losses against City, 4-0 against Palace, and 2 against Everton is a little bit annoying, but we are seeing not 1, but 2 players in the goals now. Sasa and Karim Kanate, with 41 between them in the league alone. Fernandes, 21 assists. Tobias with 13. Our wing-backs have got either the same or more than Bukayo Saka. Mamardashvili, the most clean sheets. Arias, the 4th best performer at the age of 30. Really, really overperforming. And I can tell you something right now. This season is really impressive. 3 seasons in, we've won the Premier League back-to-back years. Let's not forget that, by the way. We won that last year, so love to see that. We have also won the FA Cup. Big improvements in the Champions League. Yes, we didn't win the Community Shield. Yes, we didn't win the Carabao Cup. But this is by far the most well-linked in season of being good at pretty much everything. You know, we're one stage off getting to 2 other finals as well. This is a real good progression, and I'm happy with what we are doing, and I imagine they're happy as well. They are happy. They've given me 102 million, and the debt is still somewhat there. We are going to try and work our way around that, but we still can go and spend, and the way that I look at this right now, we are on such a good up arrow. We need to make sure we keep on signing the correct players, and these shadow strikers and AMs, we do need to sign a couple more players in them positions to add more options in those areas. And the rest of the team, our wing backs I'm super confident in. Fernandez, 37 goal contributions. You've actually got 31 from Tobias. Arias had a great season. Larson, Kanate had a great season. Salsa, 41 and 10. Whoever doubted this guy is completely wrong, including me, because he is an absolute bagsman, the Austrian. And even Bellegarde's 5 and 4. You know, these players are still chipping into a very high level. Mamardashvili had a great average rating. I mean, genuinely, this team on paper is slowly becoming a team that you can honestly say, yeah, that will consistently win the Premier League. I look at it now and I'm still like, not like, oh, how are we winning the Premier League? But it's sort of like there are areas of the team that definitely could be better. Like Arias, you look at from base value and you think, he's average. He's clearly not. I was wrong about him. This man here does need to be replaced. He is, you know, not ideal, but even him, he had a decent season. It goes to show that sometimes you need to give these players a chance, and I'm saying that more about myself than you. I sometimes don't give these people a shot. But we are going to sell Daniel Bentley. That is now 3 goalkeepers all sold at 35. That's some coincidence. We are going to offload Totti. He's a player that also is getting on, 30 years of age. And to be honest, when we got offered 7 million, I thought I'd be nuts not to take it. Because if I didn't take that, would another offer come in? He's not really playing many games, as you can see right now. He's, he's stepped in a lot from the first season, but now he's sort of dropped off. So I thought, you know what? Let's cash in. Put that money into somewhere else. Signing 1 is going to be Casper Jander, coming in from Southampton for 28 million. Only plays 7 games, surprisingly. Now, he was actually brought in to get into that first team, but there's no guarantee. Of course, we don't really play loads and loads of sort of deep midfielders. We only play a couple, so he's going to have to fight for his position or be happy with backup. But for that price tag of 28 million, he's worth double that, so I knew I was getting a good deal. He is a great player. Great passing, great tackling, good marking, good positioning, good teamwork, good pace, good stamina, good strength. He is a bit of an ox in midfield, but he's got Gomez and Andre to compete with, so he holds some pretty tough company. Now, he is already wanted by Brighton and Al Ittihad, and I'm hoping he stays loyal because he's not a backup in a disrespectful way, but I guess that's what he is. We've replaced the centre-back just like that with a better one. Murillo is going to come in, another Brazilian, to join João Gomez and Andre. He comes in for a total of 20 million. A great first season, 8 goal contributions, 5 assists, and 3 goals. Here's a player, guys, that has played, you know, Nottingham Forest, Barcelona in this game. I mean, you know you're getting a good player, and at the end of the day, he's fantastic. He's got everything, even down to passing, first touch, dribbling, then the more important stuff, heading, tackling, pace, acceleration, jumping reach. He is a leading Premier League defender, and I'm hoping he's world class is what he is, and I'm hoping that this will help me out, getting me from the semis to a final, and then hopefully that final turns into a trophy. As we spend big and we get another AM/shadow striker, depending on where we play him, it's going to be Ben Seguir, a fantastic talent originating from Monaco, then went to Leverkusen. Now he is at Wolves in the Premier League. 7 goals and 9 assists is a very, very impressive first season. Really good when it comes to the technical side of the game. Dribbling, first touch, passing, technique, he's got it all going on, and he's not a slug either. Good acceleration, good pace, good agility, very nimble, worth a lot more than what we paid for him, getting on to over double. 24 years of age, close to his full potential, but even if he never improves and stays like this, he's absolutely golden for me. And that completes another well dealt with window where we've signed 3 fantastic players, offloaded a little bit of deadwood, and loaned out a lot of players that simply are not getting game time. So another well handled window in my opinion. To another FA Cup final, and this time it is going to be against Man City. And I'm hoping that things go differently, but apparently they might not be, because Marmoush is going to make it 1-0 in 2 minutes. That is an absolute killer. But this time we are going to find a way back into this game. Arias, into Tobias, into Andre, into Ben Seguir, the new man. Always a bit of luck, but I'm going to take it. Donnarumma can do nothing about that. We're back into the game 8 minutes after. João Gomez, Canate on the turn. What a turn. Spun Guevardio off the Guevardio. Who was that? Someone got absolutely turned, and that is one of the luckiest goals I've scored. How that ended up finishing in a goal, I do not know. They simply did not clear their lines. Jones, what's he going to do? Well, what he's going to do is give me a goal of hope. Donnarumma! Oh, Donnarumma, what you doing, buddy? Oh, he's cost his team there. As we also this time go on to win the English Community Shield 4-2 over Tottenham. The first time we have won it in this rebuild. And I want to say, the first time... Portsmouth/Wolves, we have won it before, right back in the day, but the first time in many years for Wolves, so do you know what? That's nice to see. The Carabao Cup we are also going to claim, so that is 3 English trophies already won, and that is the first time we have linked all of them together. This game was incredibly boring, and I'm going to be honest with you, we got slaughtered, but we did win it right towards the end, and therefore... I'm just going to take it and smile. Champions League, I don't hate because we are showing consistency and we've already won 3 trophies so far. We are, again, a goal off going to the final and we bottle it by losing 4-0. So we don't deserve to get to a final when you're bottling a game like that. So if we've won the Premier League here, it's a record-breaking season in terms of trophies. And we have. I mean, that's a remarkable season, guys. We've won every English trophy. That is the definition of an English powerhouse. We have won it all in the Premier League, granted a little bit closer. We do draw a fair few games and we lose 7, and a couple of them games are getting quite ugly. But again, same old story. Canate, Sarsa, Mamardashvili, you've got Tobias, you've got Fernandez. These players are really making the difference. And if you're being honest, you look at this team on paper, and bit by bit, we are getting to a point where you're like, that team can win a Premier League. The backline, I would actually argue, is there. The midfield deeper is there. The AM shadow striker, I'm still 50-50 with, because I think we can still somewhat improve it a little bit. The strikers, people might write Strand Larsen off. People might write Sarsa off, but I was going to sell these guys, but why would I? They're performing so well. Our wing-backs, 27 goal contributions from Tobias. You've also... I mean, I'm not being funny, you've got 2 wing-backs there, both contributing 27 goals a season. No wonder why we're winning almost everything. A very strong performance from everybody in the team, and I look at the squad, for example, and we have now got some older players, you know, we've got Hwang Hee-chan, who can be sold. We've got this man in Emmanuel, he can be sold. You've got Sarsa, who I do not want to sell. Arias, who I don't really want to sell. This man can go. Santiago can go. This guy I don't want to sell. Now, I will say I was so hyped to have this guy. He's still doing very well, but he's not really getting the same love from me. But I want to make it clear, he's doing his job very, very well. And despite being wanted by Brighton, I'm hoping I can keep him for what will be the last season. As the last season, our expectation, you know what I want to do. Is to win everything all in one season. Now, to be honest with you, we already have upped the reputation. We have added so many more trophies. Look at the up arrow from this point. Pretty much when we took over, all the way up, then we've flatlined. We have genuinely turned this team into an absolute blockbuster is what we've done, all playing this magnificent tactic, which is just all guns blazing. What I will say is, money-wise, we are going to have a budget of £100 million. So for the last season, we can go and strengthen, and there are still players that we are going to try and sell that are on the transfer list. But to be honest with you, I just really want to try really want to try and win the Champions League. So only one outgoing is going to be Key Jana. However, he is going to go to Utrecht for 2.1 million. I thought it was 1.7. 2.1 million. Again, a big loss compared to what we paid for him, but he simply just doesn't get into the team, so I may as well cash in. Signing one is going to be Benjamin Sesko. Sorry, United fans, but United were prepared to sell him, and I don't really know why, because he was playing games, but he comes into our team and bags 23 goals and 6 assists. So, much better at Wolves, Sesko. So, you might consider that in real life. A very good player, with great physical stats, great finishing, good composure, a little bit older, it has to be said in this save. Already wanted by Arsenal and Tottenham. They can do one, because this completes the final piece in that striker position. A signing the board helped me with, we are going to welcome in Can Uzun, coming in from Frankfurt for 90 million. But just look, 25 and 14. I was adamant I wanted this guy and I would do everything to get him. I know how good he can be. He is developed into a monster. He is still at Frankfurt somehow in 2028. I couldn't sit by and watch the man suffer. He needs to come to a team that can win trophies, and we are that team. And that completes the last signing of today's video. Can I win a Champions League with Sesko and this man added in? Well, we're flying right through to the round of 16 where we batter Bayer Leverkusen 6-1. Is Ten Hag still there? No. Of course he's not there in real life. What am I talking about? Sorry, Ten Hag. No slander intended there. Quarterfinals, 7-2 over Galatasaray. Semi-finals, 6-0 over Barcelona. Finally beat them. And we are playing Real Madrid in the final. So we've only got one shot to win this. And they've got 2 players in the top goal scorers, 2 players in the assists, and they're a Champions League prodigy. Nightmare. We're going to start off hot in this competition's final because it is going to be a goal we concede in a very scrappy manner inside of 9 minutes. So not very happy with that, to be honest with you, but it is what it is. I've got to crack on, and luckily for us, our new £90 million man does come up trumps to get us back into the game. Can he do it? Of course he can. Do you get it? Can Uzun? Can he do it? I need to stop making jokes. He gets us back into the game, and we are looking somewhat confident here. Andre, over the top, didn't quite make it. We're going to recover it, though. Tobias, oh my God, what a run. What a finish from the right back as we go into half-time, surely with the... No, we don't. Not with the lead. Mbappe scores a penalty, and we are tied up 2-2, and we actually now find ourselves in added time. 50 seconds into the first half of extra time. Gomez puts a ball in, and Sesko off the post. Gomez! And we're leading 3-2, and please, for the love of everything, do not bottle the game. Defend, defend, defend. Do not let them play that ball over. Good interception. Well in. Go on. Go on, Can. Sesko, get your goal. Champions League final. There we go. That is why we signed him. Champions League winners. We managed it in 5 years. And Can Uzun and Sesko, they made all the difference. The league, we are going to win again. And that is going to be 4 times back to back. Once we started winning it, we didn't stop. And 25, 23, 22, we are English giants. Sorry, we are. We are the best team in England now. Mamardashvili, Tobias, Can, Alvaro Fernandez has been such a dreamy player. This team, I love. A chance for another Community Shield, this time against Liverpool, and we're going to start off really hot. Despite being a rainy day, our play's nothing but sunny. Kanate goes through and makes it 1-0 inside of 11 minutes. A great assist there from Ben, and we are going to carry this on with full flow. That was an awful challenge. Gomez goes alone inside the box. Ball back stick into Tobias. Great first touch, and I tell you what, this Tobias fella is absolutely mustard. He's incredible, and the only thing that Liverpool can do is score from a set piece as a bit of a consolation. And I will be honest with you, it was a bit of a screamer from Gravenberch, to be honest, but yeah, it meant nothing. The only thing we didn't win, which means we do fail the perfect sweep, is the FA Cup with a 1-0 loss against Chelsea, which I've got to see who scored that goal. Who ruined that sweep then? It is the FA Cup, not the Carabao Cup. Cole Palmer in the 89th minute. Of course it is. But we have done very well here. 4 trophies in the last season, including the Champions League, meaning we won the Premier League 4 times, the UCL once, the FA Cup we won twice and runners-up. The Carabao Cup we won twice and runners-up. The Community Shield we won twice, and runners-up. So definitely classed as an English giant now, in my opinion. The club info, perfect reputation now. Training's gone up. We have done a really good job at improving this club. Champions League in the trophy cabinet. More Premier Leagues, more everything, really. Such a well-executed job. And I mean, money-wise for you back home, you're going to have a budget of 110 million. The debt has nearly been dealt with. Miraculously, we've managed everything to such a high level. You've been left with such a good team and a big budget. So if there's maybe someone here you don't like, I don't know who you wouldn't like, you can replace them. But we're going to finalise the season with our right back with 41 assists. If you've not used my tactics yet, make sure you go and use them because you have a lot of fun. 4 and 41, 1 and 20 for Alvaro Fernandez, Andre 5 and 14, Gomez 14 and 10, Cam 39 and 22, Sagir 11 and 13, Sesko 41 and 9, Kanate 30 and 8, 8 goals for Strand Larsen, 5 coming in there for Krikachi, I butcher his name, the man that I have loved from day one, I still butcher his name, 8 goals for Sasa, 11 for Arias, which is really good to see. This team is absolutely thriving, and the challenge that I'm going to set you is to win the complete sweep, not including the Super Cup, because that will make it even harder. If you get it done, send me a screenshot or the save file on Patreon. The winner will get £25, the first person to make it happen. Trust me, you got a chance of doing it, because this team was very close. We were 1 game off, and we only lost that game in the 89th minute. So that is going to be your challenge. Hopefully you've enjoyed today's rebuild. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Comment below what you thought, what you want to see next, and have you pre-ordered FM26? Let me know. Catch you in the next one.